I want to tell you about a thing I've been real into lately. And you, the listeners, so strap in. I want to talk about virtual reality.
Uh-oh.
Expand your mind, broaden your horizons. Why'd you say uh-oh?
Uh-oh.
Why did you say uh-oh?
Because I'm thinking of the arcades where you stand on the platform and everybody watches you.
They have one of those at my mall that you would like fucking jam your entire child skull into. And if you didn't possess a child skull, which sadly I didn't as a child, I had a 45-year-old man's skull when I was 10 and I still do to this day. And you would look around and you'd be like a little laser tank. But like it was such garbage.
What are you talking about?
I am talking about the thing that's like your foot is literally touching a headset. Oh no, it's about 6 inches away. I'm just talking about virtual reality, and like this is I don't want to like geek out too much. I mostly want to talk about the fact that like I dipped out for a bit. I've had the Oculus Rift, and we have a Vive. Also, these are two different types of like virtual reality headsets that are out right now. We've had them for a while, and I got them last year and like messed around with them for a while, and it's really neat. And then I stopped doing it. And in the span of time, in like the last like 8 months or so, some really cool stuff has come out. And so recently I've been getting back into it and checking stuff out. And like the experiences have evolved to be like really, really cool very, very quickly. And so I referenced that like game that I did the Carly Rae Jepsen thing in. There's just a game called Chroma Lab where you're just in a thing, just in a Squarespace. Squarespace is not a sponsor this week, but hit us up with these little color balls that you can move around, and it's just really trippy. And then there's one where you're on a spaceship and you're just pulling yourself through the spaceship and flying around. And instead of like sort of dipping into any sort of individual experience, the reason I'm enthusiastic about it is because I can't think of any other thing in my lifetime that has gone so quickly from like sci-fi, like ergonomically impossible bullshit to like I own two of them and they're pretty good.
Yeah, so this just works with your computer, right?
Yeah, so there's a few when a lot of people talk about like VR becoming like accessible to everybody, like that's the big stumbling block, is just having it be this self-contained thing that you just put on your head and no wires, no nothing. And there is the Gear VR. You can slot your like Samsung phone into this little headset and it works fairly well. It's still just like a one phone, so it's not like super powerful. But yeah, it does plug into your computer, and your computer like handles all the processing of it. So like it's really inaccessible. I saw my uncle on Facebook like saying like, I want to get into VR, and I was like, I can help you with that, but it'll probably be about $1,500. And so like I understand that that's like sucks. And I think you have to be coming at it from a place of privilege to even like have access to this stuff right now. But the dream of like, if you had told me in 2008, like, hey, VR is going to be here and like you'll have one and it'll work like better than I think you thought it would work in your lifetime, I'd say like, no, you're telling tales out of school. And it like totally does exist. And I guess I just like, this is the thing everybody talks about, right? When they talk about like, well, when I thought by the time I got to be 30, we'd have jetpacks and flying cars.
Exactly.
I would comfortably have included that when I was a teenager. I would have comfortably included like virtual reality in that, because you read like Snow Crash and you're like, or you see The Matrix and you're like, oh, fuck yeah, that looks cool, but not in my lifetime. But it is like, it's here. And I guess like self-driving cars are getting there too, which is like kind of wild, but like this is the most tangible thing. And I don't know, I just really, I played the game I referenced earlier. You're this like robot on a spaceship and you have an astronaut there with you who's like a human being, and you're just like alone on this ship with them trying to go around and fix stuff. And it's this like quiet, very like character driven VR experience that felt like extremely real. And like the whole time I was playing it, I was like, I can't believe I'm 30 and have this, like, and not like 90, like I can't believe it, or dead. Like I'm just like blown away that this stuff exists. And even though it's like still really expensive and not like perfect or accessible to everybody, like by the time it is, which I still think could be in my lifetime, like can you imagine being in school and like strapping on a headset and then like all of a sudden you're on this magic school bus adventure to like the prehistoric ages?
You know what it reminds me of is like, you know, when people listen to like audiobooks, and so sometimes you'll be talking to somebody and they'll say like, oh yeah, I've read Grapes of Wrath, and it's like, oh well, no, actually I listened to it, an audiobook. Like it'll kind of be like that with VR of like, oh, I've been to the Louvre. Well,
Yeah.
actually just through virtual reality.
But I think we'll hit a point where it's like, that's not that big a distinction.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons like I'm excited to do this podcast is because I think I am in general a very enthusiastic person, and I like sharing that. Like when I'm into something, it is hard for me not to talk about it with people. And I feel like I butt heads with folks I don't butt heads because I don't fucking say anything, but I don't like get in fights with my peers about this. But like I see people who like get a headset and then they do it and they're like, this sucks. The cord's too thick. And it's like, you can put on a helmet and be on a spaceship and it works really good. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people anytime I say anything about VR, like I get dunked on pretty quickly by a lot of people who like want to talk about the logistical problems with it or the price problems with it, or like, oh, is that the only thing you've played? How's your $1,500 rig doing for you? When like, I think it's just fucking incredible that this thing's here. Like, I can't believe it's here and that it's like sitting on top of my computer right now. And if I wanted, when we're done with this podcast, I could go, to the Wild Wild West or whatever. I'm just blown away by that.
No, it is pretty incredible actually, because I know I've gotten to use your VR headset a couple times, and it's just totally immersive. Like you lose kind of all awareness of your actual settings and the other people that might be in the room with you. And that's something I didn't really expect from virtual reality in our lifetime. I thought it would be like platforms and arcades, not like suddenly I'm in a totally different world.
And I'm wondering if there is this like a way that those sort of revelations like build in life. Like I'm wondering, like, now that virtual reality is a thing that I have, and it went from this thing that I never thought existed to a thing that like does exist, all of a sudden I see fucking Elon Musk like, yeah, you're going to go to space, whenever you want by 2040. And like, maybe like 5 years ago I would see that and be like, oh, bullshit. But I do have this virtual reality headset that works. So like maybe my dude's going to get me up there. Like maybe my dude is going to be able to ship me from LA to San Francisco in like 8 minutes. In like some sort of human blender. Like, okay, yeah, go for it. Let's do it. Let's go wild, Elon. Ship my particles, dog.